have an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. Let's go. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all want to ring. Yeah, we all want to be free.
Welcome to this show, Lions Nation Night, live here on this Tuesday, May 28th. Hell of a good day outside. Really nice. And yes, I appreciate everybody throwing those happy birthday wishes. I just checked my Facebook. I have over 100 people telling me happy birthday just on Facebook alone, and a ton in texts. So I appreciate everybody out there. I'm not 40 yet, thank God. I'm 39. I got 1 year left till I hit that 40, but appreciate everybody's wishes out there for happy birthday on this Tuesday. If you guys can smash that like button, that would be epically epic. It would definitely help out. Love to get 100 likes in this bad boy. We could do an ultra combo and have all sorts of lots of fun. Ultra combo there, folks. So in today's show, we're going to be going over the latest Lions news and rumors. And, of course, we're going to do QA halfway through that mug. I know Kay ain't precious. I am scared to turn 40, aren't we all? Oh, my, aren't we all? Emily, Riley, Kay, 9 drinks, big. Appreciate you all in this building. Happy birthdays to everybody giving me the happy birthday when I don't see you. But, look. OTAs took place last week, the first week. This week now we are doing the OTAs, and that starts tomorrow. So super excited with that. I just got hit up by my boss right when I was talking to you guys. So he sent me my monthly amount of money that I get paid. So I was checking that out really quick. There, Carlton Davis, Jamison Williams, these guys are iron sharpening iron right now. Carlton Davis, Jamison Williams, they are going at it, and it is a good thing. Carlton Davis is getting the best out of Jamison Williams and vice versa. These two can help each other out, and that's really important, right? You have a guy who's sticky in coverage like Carlton Davis. He's sticky. He stays right with you, and then you got Jamison Williams, who's kind of working on his route running to get that crisp, as well as being more physical wide receiver. And I don't think there's that many corners out there you wouldn't want him to go against to get better right there. And that's Davis because of his stickers. So I absolutely love it. And this is how you get better. We talked about when Aiden Hutchinson and Penei Sewell were going at training camp, and we love watching that. Now we got another little thing going on here, Jamison Williams and Carlton Davis. And what I really like about these two and their comments, they're helping each other out. There's things that Carlton Davis is going to know from the corner position that Jamison Williams would like to know, and vice versa. So when you have that ability, you're going to get better. Love what I'm seeing right there from those two. And Terrell Williams, the Lions' new defensive line coach, is getting a ton of praise from Lions head coach Dan Campbell. And he thinks this is finally the guy to get it done. He's talking about amazing work. Look, if Terrell Williams can bring out the best in sacks, in pass rush on the defensive line, maybe we may not have a problem, right? Could it have been coaching? We're going to find out. And Wildy had 41 sacks last year. Not a lot. 11.5 for Aiden Hutchinson, not including the playoffs. And then obviously Lee McNeil was at 5. So that was booty cheek. So we need to get better there. And Terrell Williams absolutely could get that mug done for sure. So I'm really excited to see how this is going to play out. We really don't know at this point, right? We got to wait until the pads are on. And the pads are not on really to see this defensive line work until, we really get into training camp, in all honesty. That's where you're going to start to see it, where these guys can fight it out and get better from each respected position. So I'm excited to see that in training camp. Another thing that just came out today from Tom Pelissaro is that the NFL are working potentially to get rid of OTAs for next year and just make training camp a little bit longer because it's for player safety is what they're talking about. And I actually agree with this. So I want you guys in the comment section to let me know. Do you agree with that? Why for yes and for no of changing the offseason routines? I say yes, because giving players their body time to rest is really important. Like, these guys are going through physical physical pain throughout the NFL season. Not only they're working out every day, lifting weights, which will tire pretty much the normal person out, but then they're doing, wearing pads, beating each other up. They're practicing while lifting weights and doing games throughout a season. That is physical beatdown, and I would like to see, I actually agree with it. Now, look, it sucks for content creators because we want more Lions information, but at the same time, I want players to just be healthy. And I'm tired of them changing all these rules defensively for health when they can change rules to make everybody healthy. So I'm cool with it. But Michael A says, nah. He's like, I want it the way it is. And that's what he wants to see. That's fine. We definitely can agree disagree in this one. It's just, hey, whatever works out best. Yeah, I'm with the 5 bye week. I'm with another bye week too. JT's massive purpose, and I think there should be 2 bye weeks in an NFL season. It's just really long and taxing on the body for these players. And I mean, for us, I'm tired. I'm tired halfway through a season, folks. It's like, my God. So give these guys another bye week. That's what I would be all for, especially if they expand the regular season to 18 games. You have to do 2 bye weeks. You have to at that point. Just have to get it done. That's just the bottom line right there. Hey, thank you, Kurt. Thank for everybody throwing that love for my birthday. And we're all, Derek, appreciate you. We're all getting up there in age, and every day it gets closer to getting older, and it just sucks. It is what it is. But I actually don't mind it. I actually don't mind it. With age comes intelligence, right? We can use our brain a little bit more than our physical stature. So I got a question for you, because I read All Lions today, went over the article, and they talked about who is the most important player on your football team. That was one of the questions here. Throw names in the comments below. Right, throw names in the comments below. Hasn't Dan wanted more? No. It would be the same amount of workout on Michael Lucci's. He wants a more physical practice, and I concur. Right, physically is perfectly fine for practice. I'm just saying, when the season is done, let the human body rest. Like, you can use your right. They could do visuals. They can do all sorts of ways of learning schemes and everything, not necessarily using the human body, right? You can just still let the body rest by still training. And that's just what they're wanting to do. And I agree. It'd be the same amount of time. What they're saying, it'd be the same amount of time of workouts. They would extend training camp, right? But it would just be different times of doing it, so you get the body rest. So most important player here, DJ Reader, is absolutely key. So he says the most important player on this football team is Jared Goff, then Penei Sewell, and Aiden Hutchinson. You know what? That's pretty good. I got to go Jared Goff. The reason, first off, nearly every team's quarterback is going to be the most important player, unless you're the New York Giants, right? Unless you have a scrub of a quarterback. So Jared Goff has to be. But let's go ahead and exclude Goff, because everybody's going to say Jared Goff. Everyone's going to say the quarterback position. And I agree. I think he is the most important player on this team, and nearly on every single team, it's going to be the quarterback position, besides just a handful. So other than that, I think Penei Sewell, you're right, Michael. I'd go Penei Sewell, because he really makes this offensive line stingy. Without Sewell, I can't even imagine what the offense would really look like. We don't know, man. We're having Penei Sewell on here. He's so good. I'll go with Penei Sewell. After that, I'll probably go with St. Brown. I'll go with Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and then Aiden Hutchinson. Lone Wolf says Jack Campbell's the most important person on this team. Especially when he runs the mic, at some point he is. When Alex Anzalone's done, and then I think he'd be very important. Right now, maybe not so, but for sure, I see what you're saying there. What up, Doe? Chrome? What up, Doe? And so let me know your thoughts, your most important player. So I'll go with Jared Goff, Penei Sewell, and then Amon-Ra, St. Brown. So yeah, hey, Big Hunts is right there. You go Sewell, Hutch, St. Brown. So we're all on the same page here for sure, kind of in that realm here for this football team. And Again, we got mini camp or OTAs tomorrow. It's 3 days of OTAs. So it starts tomorrow. We get to see what the secondary could do. And then we're getting closer to training camp. So right now we're definitely in the lull period of the NFL season, and that's perfectly fine. It gives us a break a little bit, but it's still important to know what's going on for the Detroit Lions. Now, Carlton Davis was impressive in OTAs. And when we traded for him, I thought this was a really good trade because what I saw from Carlton Davis, at least when I was looking at his Tampa film, and I actually got to do it twice because of we faced the Buccaneers twice. And what I noticed about Carlton Davis, how sticky he is. He is really sticky and physical. And I tell you what, he is a major upgrade over Cam Sutton. I'm just going to say that right now. And what we're hearing from minicamp, because I haven't seen it, but what I saw from him in the NFL and what I saw or what I'm hearing now in OTAs is exactly the same. He's sticky. He's a big upgrade for Cam Sutton, and this is extremely important too because Cam was supposedly our number one last year, and he got cooked. We didn't have anybody to stop a number one wide receiver last year. It was terrible. It was awful. It was water coming out of a faucet. It was really bad. And now we do. And I think this changes the perception of the Lions defense. I think the defense, especially if Terrell Williams comes in here and is masterful upon this offensive line, then you're going to see, or against other offensive lines for the defensive line, you're going to see the secondary get better. With Carlton Davis being sticky, you're going to see turnovers. So I'm super excited for what this secondary is going to do with Davis. And of course, Terrion Arnold, who's been impressive as well as OTAs. He is our rookie. The Lions secondary could it actually be a strength of this football team? Could the Lions secondary be the strength? We're good at safety, in my opinion. We got our starters. I mean, they could add another guy for competition, but we're good there. We know we got Curb, Brian Branch, and Iffy. I am fine with those three. I don't need extra reps for Iffy. I am good. It's all at the corner position. And if what we're seeing is true, could the Lions secondary be a strength? If that's the case, Lions should be favored to win the NFC. They should be. The secondary was a weakness. It's now strong. The Lions' run defense was a strength. It was number 2 out of 32. And it should have been number 1 if it wasn't just for the quarterbacks. That was it. So if the Lions' secondary can elevate itself, I don't know, top 16, our Lions' defense could be a top 10 defense this year. And if you have a top 10 defense, in my opinion, probably with the top 5 special teams, and of course, maybe the best offense in all of football, Super Bowl contender. 3 phases covered. And Mr. Detroit City, you are the GOAT. I am just a guy. You're the GOAT himself. Facts, major upgrade, absolutely. Let's remember Sutton was playing out of position. He was never supposed to be a number 1, and that's 100% JT. And you're absolutely correct. Emmanuel Moseley kind of let us down right there because of his injury. What do you think about keeping Moseley on? I think he shows his value. No, first off, JT, I agree with you. Emmanuel Moseley is the wild card in the secondary. Why do I say this? Last year, he was supposed to be our number 1. He get injured, didn't play, but like a handful of snaps. We signed him, and remember, it was a big deal we signed him to, a big 1-year deal. Now it's more veteran minimum, but he's actually recovered from health. So if Emmanuel Moseley can be what we thought he's going to be last year with Terrion Arnold, Carlton Davis, and Amik Robertson, this secondary could be sick. It really could be. It really could be. And what's good about Moseley, again, he is the wild card. We're not depending on him. We're depending on Davis and Terrion Arnold and Amik Robertson. We're not dependent on him. He is the guy that nobody talks about. But what if he comes in and he is great? Holy crap. The Lions could have an even better defense, something that could take us to a Super Bowl champion. We just got to get that defense better. Ragnow, we need him to be healthy, Kurt, 100%. But I must say, if we have injuries upon the interior offensive line this year, I'm not as worried as I was last year. I didn't think our backups were that great. This year, I am impressed with what we have for the backups. First off, Sorsdale should take a little bit step forward. He didn't do that well last year. Owusika's on this team. I thought he actually played decent, considering where who he was, honestly. But then you have our backups, right? You have Graham Glasgow, who can play center if there's an injury. Then we drafted a tackle and a guard in the draft, and they both can play. Look, Manu is going to be, in my opinion, he should be the backup left tackle or right tackle with Skipper, but I think he can play in a pinch in the interior. And obviously, we got better in the interior in the draft this last year. So I'm not as worried as last year with the offensive line backups, not starters, backups. By playoffs, the secondary is shutting stuff up. I know. And I agree with you, Bo Booth. By the time it's playoffs, our rookies is going to be not really rookies anymore. I don't really count rookies in the playoffs, right? Because it's there if it played 17 games, generally speaking. I agree with you. Shift, what's up, my man? Appreciate you for the birthday wishes. James Janella, appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate everybody out there is sending me the love for the birthday. With Just Jefferson going to Kansas City, we have no chance of going to the Super Bowl. What? What's going on? Justin Jefferson going to Kansas City. Did the Vikings make play for... Let's see. Did something happen that I did not know about, folks? Did something happen that I did not know about? Sims are about. Let me know if there was a try. He's saying I went there. I don't know if it's true. By the way, happy birthday. Sounds like we could possibly have 2 cornerback ones. That is, looks like it could be. It really looks like it could be. Folks, if you could smash that like button, you'd help me out. I appreciate it. Every 62 of you in the building. What advantages do we have of all our young players? Always got a lot of time playing. The one advantage is us have so many injuries over the past 2 years. These guys are experienced and hungry. Agree with you. JT, you're on fire today. Do you think we look at someone like Calais Campbell if we add a defensive end? The problem here is, Shift, is who you get rid of if you're to bring in a Calais Campbell who is just a role player at this point in his career. I mean, you absolutely could, right? If they wanted to bring him in, kind of like we did last year of the season, I have no problem with it. But the problem is, the question would be, who would you bring him in favor of? What other player? And right now, there's some players already got at the edge. Maybe, look, they could do it, right? If some of our guys who we expect to play well doesn't, or Joshua Pascal's not doing well in training camp or something like that, they could do something, but you'd have to get rid of somebody to do it. And that's the problem. Hayes and Hayes, back in the day, 2 shutdown corners, best duo ever. It could be. It's been a while since we've had a corner since Slay and Diggs. Someone said that he's getting traded to Kansas City. Did he get traded to Kansas City? Let me know. I don't know, man. I've been working. I went to Secretary of State, got home, went straight to making a video, and as soon as I done the video, went straight to live stream. So I have not seen any Lions or not any NFL news up to this point. Most commentators commented how bad our pressure is getting to the quarterback and our secondary, which undergone a well-done fix. No more wins by 3. It's time to boots the Nexus, Steven. Derek Stroh, I agree with you, especially against teams like Dallas Cowboys. We don't want to give the referees any sort of chance to change the game. You have to beat the crap out of teams to do that. Yes, Mike is indeed the best Lions reporter. No cap. Thank you, K. Ain't pressed. I appreciate you, and I love the no cap. Is this true? No capping over here, man. But I'm just trying to do my job for you guys. If Jefferson goes to Kansas City, that should be 2 automatic wins against Minnesota. Not necessarily. First off, they have a rookie they got last year that was performing really well when Justin Jefferson was down. So, but does it hurt their chances? 100%. But I'm going to keep it 100 with you. If they do trade Justin Jefferson, don't think this is going to make the Vikings worse going forward. Remember, they trade Diggs, Stephon Diggs, they get Justin Jefferson. They draft a wide receiver last year who's good. I don't know what is up with Minnesota, but they draft wide receivers really well. So if they do trade and probably get 2 first-round picks for him in a player, we're going to do good this year, but then you got to look at next year and be like, oh my God, if they do that, right? Because then they would have probably 3 first-round picks, man. So just got to be worried. But right now, I kind of want him to keep Justin Jefferson. Why do you think that's crazy? Why do you think keeping Justin Jefferson would be crazy for me to want? Because he is going to cost them a boatload of money to where you're not going to be able to keep every single person. And JJ is still a Viking. Okay, so this is just rumors they may get traded. So good. I actually don't really want him to get traded. I want them to invest like $38 million a year into Justin Jefferson and kind of hurt their cap a little bit. Because it's going to be way above St. Brown's. Kansas City can't afford him. Do you know Martin and Wingo are performing at OTAs? Yes, I do. We've heard, but here's the thing, Derek. They're not in pads, so it's really difficult to judge how they are doing. Wingo's shown a lot of speed off the line of scrimmage. That's good. And Broderick Martin slimmed down and he bulked up. And that's good. But we're not really going to know their performance until they're going against the Lions, offensive line starters and backups, and see, the one-on-ones, all that type of stuff going on. We don't really know right now, but they have shown a lot of promise. So that's good. So it's all good news, but we got to wait till training camp really to get it. Feels like these players are pricing themselves out, or jobs at least pricing themselves out of the Super Bowl contention. That's what I want to see from the NFC North. Price them out. Because, look, if you don't have a superstar quarterback, like, look, Jared Goff got paid big money, but he's going to be the 7th highest paid quarterback probably in a couple months, right? They're going to be paying, Dak's going to get paid, and Tua's going to get paid, and you're going to see all these quarterbacks get paid. That's why we did ours now, even though it looks like a ton. We wanted to make sure we weren't the 2nd highest paid quarterback in a couple months. So we'll be the 5th highest. And then you got to pay a wide receiver. That's a lot of money. $38 million for a wide receiver a year. I like St. Brown, but I'm not doing that for, like, St. Brown is, to me, the ultimate wide receiver. You don't have to worry about it. He's excellent. He's always on the field. He's toughness, but that's a ton of money, man. Off one player, and that's a wide receiver. I think, like, if you're going to invest, I love what the Lions, right? You do the offensive line. Like, if you're going to spend the most amount of money, to me, it's probably you should be on the offensive line or defensive lines, excluding the quarterback position, right? Edge, defensive tackle, tackle for the offensive line. You don't have to do big on the guard, but tackle positions, those are the one you want to pay the big money to. Yeah, Martin's he's gonna improve for sure. Because he slimmed down, he looks great. He will improve, and he barely played last year, so it's, of course, going to go in the right direction. We just don't know how much. I think they're waiting to trade him. Yeah, they're probably waiting. Heard JJ wants St. Brown money. Never heard trade rumors. Yeah, look, Justin Jefferson, I hope he stays a Viking because I want them to pay him a godly amount of money. Do that. We paid Stafford and Calvin Johnson a godly amount of money, and it got us to the playoffs and not a victory. So keep doing it with other teams, because eventually they're going to have to pay the quarterback they drafted. Eventually they're going to have to pay some of these other players. And it's going to be the same situation in Chicago. They dumped off a lot of cap, to free agency, and in a trade with Montez Sweat, they're going, when they do eventually have to pay Caleb Williams in 4 years, they better have done something before then, because if you don't, it's going to be hard to get back. Lions, will Mark be on the show again? Yeah, I hit him up all the time. I ask him to get on the show. It's just not. He ripped out something in his arm, and it's like a really long recovery, tendons and ligaments. So he's dealing with that, and he works too at the same time. So hey, he can hit me up. He's allowed on anytime. I sent the link out. If people jump in, they jump in. If they don't jump in, they don't jump in. That's one of the deals. Folks, go ahead again, hit that like button. If you haven't done so, it is my birthday. That's all I'm asking for. Today's birthday. And if you got questions, throw it in the comment section with hashtag Lions, hashtag, whatever. If you got a question, let us know. Biceps injury. Yeah, he ripped out a bunch of stuff and it looked brutal. Look, folks, it's no joke. He was going to the gym doing this. When you get older, things change, man. You're not like you used to be. I remember I'd go to the gym and my forearm, severe muscle, issues in my forearms because you're just not, you don't recover like you used to. You don't, it's just not the same when you're older. You got to be really careful, man. You got to be extremely careful. So that sucks, man. But that's what happens when you get older. It just, everything don't work the same. Chiefs won't pay JJ and the Vikings can't afford to get rid of him unless it's a total rebuild. Hey, I like it. And I agree. They probably cannot afford him. Thank you, Jake Reeves, D Roy, and Craig Hogg for the happy birthday wishes. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you. 39. Got 1 year left till I'm 31. Or till I'm 40. Sorry, I wish I was going to 30. I'm 39 today. I wish I was going to 38 next year, but I'm actually going to be 40, and that's crazy. Time flies by. My goodness, it does. My goodness. But if you got questions, throw it in the comment section right now. We're gonna open it up 100% to the mailbag segment and let you guys run the show. Just put a hashtag in there, hashtag Lions, hashtag Mike, hashtag fart. I don't really care. Just it gives my attention and sees it. Hashtag smash the hole. We love that over here. We love to smash the hole. So you can throw that in the comments below. Ronan99, thank you, brother. Thank you for the happy birthday, Micro Mike. Yeah, my old. Let's see. How much better did Green Bay get in the offseason? Hashtag FGB. They got a little bit better. They got Josh Jacobs in free agency. They needed a runner because Aaron Jones went to Minnesota. I didn't think they had the greatest draft in the world, but they already had a good team. So I think they got a little bit better, but they're a good team. They should have been in the NFC Championship. It should have been hosted at Ford Field. They should have beat San Francisco. Just like we lost San Francisco in the second, they did the same thing. So they're a really good team, but they're going to start off faster than they did last year as well because Jordan Love has experience. So I do think they got better. I do. Sorry, Mike. Happy belated birthday. Hey, no problem, bro. No problem at all, David. No sorries. Thank you for that. Hashtag fart. How pressing is our need for a quarterback? Is that a QB? We need 0 quarterbacks on this team. Jared Goff, starter, Hendon Hooker's our backup, and Nate Sudfeld is number 3 or practice squad guy. I think he'll probably just be the practice squad, and I'm really good at that position. Really, really good. I love Hendon Hooker. We don't need to get Ryan Tannehill. We don't. Okay. Any truth behind RT? What's RT? Let me know, Craig, and I'll answer that for you. Mike, any chances we use some of that cap space to get vet safety? It's possible, Jack Reeves. I don't think it happens unless there's an injury. CJ Moore is a safety, but he's going to be used as special teams. They got 4 safeties or 5 out safeties right now. So I'm going to say no, they could, but I'm going to say less than 50%, but not out of the realm possibility. That's why I talk about it if there's a rumor pops up, because it could happen. In truth, by the trades, rumors for the Texas receiver. I forgot the name you're talking about. No, there is. I have heard no legit rumors of him coming to Detroit. I heard the possibility of teams he could get traded to, and Lions be one of them. I think the Lions are just going to focus right now. You're talking about Robert Woods right now. I think the Lions are just going to focus on what we have. And if Robert Woods get released, the Lions could pick him up. No need to trade for him. Have you watched any Giovanni Manu's basketball tape? This kid is going to be a Goliath. I have not seen it, but I'm going to have to look at it. Mike, who do you got going against each other in the Super Bowl? You know what? I'm going to go right here. And a lot of people may laugh. I don't really care. The Detroit Lions versus Houston Texans. That's the Lions. That's my prediction for the Super Bowl this year. I have never predicted the Lions to make it to a Super Bowl. So I've been on here 5 years. This is the first time I'm doing it, is this offseason. Lions and Texans for the Super Bowl. Who do you think will have a better quarterback rookie season, Bears or Vikings? I'm going to go with Caleb Williams because he's their starter. He's going to have more opportunity to screw up. J.J. McCarthy is the backup right now, and Sam Darnold's the starter. I think Sam Darnold probably start like 7 games, right? And then they'll switch it to J.J. Then J.J. will get on there and work. But just because Caleb is the starter already, he's going to have more opportunity. Who do you think will have the better? Are we playing more press coverage this year with all the new toys in secondary? Yes, we are going to play more press coverage because we have Carlton Davis, Terrion Arnold, and Amik who can get it done. Emmanuel Mosley in there, and obviously the other players we got like Ennis Rakestraw. We're going to play more man. Make no mistake about it. Aaron Glenn's even talked about it. Yes, expect it. How pressing really is our need for a wide receiver 3? No problem, Ronan. I would have liked to got another receiver, but they're not worried about it, so I'm going to stick with the coaching staff. They're obviously there, but I would like for them to add another receiver just for competition. Say if a Robert Woods was released, I would like for Lions to not trade for him, but look, they think we're good. Isaiah Williams is undrafted guy. I love Leaf. I love DPJ. I love Jamo, and I love St. Brown. They'll figure it out. Lions versus Texans. That's what you got as well. Nice. Hashtag FGB. What do you think about we trade high draft pick, trade deadline of need? Depends on the player. Depends how much it is. I'm always willing to trade at the trade deadline. If the Lions we're 5-0, right? And maybe there's a little bit of weakness. We're not getting pressure they thought Marcus Davenport would do. I would be willing to trade for a pass rusher because I want to win a Super Bowl. I do. And I think we have the opportunity this year to do it. Depending on the draft capital. I'm not willing to do it unless we have a legit shot and it's not screwing the future up significantly for the Lions draft. He's will come to an all-star. Dang, man. That means he's athletic. When a big old guy could play b-ball like this, super athletic. Lions got 60 sacks as a team this year. Oof, I would like to look. We had 41 last year. You know what? I'm going to go with 61 sacks. I'll go with 61, so I'll take the over. Prediction for Jamo stats. I'm going to go with 900 yards receiving, 5 touchdowns. That's what I'll go with. If we have to lose any game, who would you rather drop the game to? Houston, Dallas, or 49ers? Absolutely Houston, because they're AFC. For losing, you always want AFC. If you want to lose a game, you always want to lose to AFC, not NFC. So I would take Houston right there. Rakestraw looking versatile. Do you think we'll find a place for him to start? No. Situational, yes. Unless there's injuries, that's different. What I love, if D is to be bad, please no, then the offense can still win us. Our D got to take a step forward if we want to win a Super Bowl. They have to. Anything former New Orleans wide receiver we picked up, I haven't heard any real rumor on that, Jack Reeves. 0. Not legitimate. Not saying it can't happen, but I've personally heard nothing. I can't believe the Lions didn't draft Bendon Rice. He's drafted defensive tackle out of nowhere. As good defensive tackle as Brandon Races as a receiver. We'll see, right? What I love is the D struggles. Please know offense can still win games, but more importantly, if the offense regresses slightly, we may finally have a chance the defense to win us games. True, right? We could have the defense help us win games. That would be nice for a change, that our defense wins us games. Hopefully our offense doesn't take a step back, but I wouldn't mind our defense winning us some games. Let's do it for the first time ever. Except for Derek Barnes' interception on Baker Mayfield, solidifying the Lions to the NFC Championship game. Did you hear Caleb threw 15 interceptions in OTAs? I heard he's struggling bad. And folks, I was on the huge show because I'm on ESPN Radio, 96.1 FM, 3 through 6 o'clock, just depending when they want me in there. And every time Huge asks me, what do you think about Caleb Williams? And I've been asked on the Crunch Time, I've been asked by a lot of people, And I say, I'm not a fan of Caleb Williams. I said, generally speaking, busts are not, it's not about physical traits. All these players coming in the NFL are gifted physically. These guys are all, generally speaking, it's injury or mentality, right? And I'm just not a big fan of Caleb Williams' mentality. I'm not. I think that he could be a bust. He looks like a diva. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I will get destroyed, and I'm perfectly fine for that. But I don't like his mentality. I honestly would not want him as my quarterback on my team. I think the quarterback needs to be the ultimate leader. You got to be putting everybody above you. You got to be humble, yet hungry. I really like Jared Goff's leadership skills. He's the perfect example. I like Jared Goff. I like Patrick Mahomes' leadership skills. Just for skill set, not talking about play. Kirk Cousins, I do like his leadership skills. You got to have that as a quarterback, and if you don't have that, you could be a bust. It's simple as that. I'm not saying he's going to be. I kind of think he is. I'm not saying he's going to. I could definitely be wrong. Defense, hell, oh yeah, predominantly Zach's. Let me know right now. Who wins us games more, offense or defense, in the last 4 or 3 years? It has been 95% offense. Really has. There's been times, right? But we go say there's 17 games in a season. How many games do you think the offense won that game? A lot of them. So how many times have our defense lost this game? A lot of them. So it's one of those deals. I see Super Bowl. What has to be done to solve the third quarter slumps? Man, Bo Booth, I don't know. And this was a problem, but I got to say, at the end of the year, we were starting to get better in the third quarter. We really were starting to get better. So hopefully this trend can continue, because the first 3/4 of the year last year, we were bad in the second half, and it just melted down in the NFC Championship game. But generally speaking, it's starting to get a little bit better. So hopefully that trend continue. We need to have a good third quarter, just like any quarter. Where are the Goff chances for MVP? I'm going to say probably slim to none, because they don't like Lions quarterbacks. And I said that when we had Stafford all the time, and I'm going to say that with Jared Goff. He should be in a conversation, but they're not going to give it to him. Do you think Mahogany can beat out Glasgow? I don't think he's going to beat out Glasgow, but if there is, let's say this, if he starts to get better throughout the year, they could switch it up, because Mahogany's a starter to me. But they're going to put Graham there. What if there is a Frank Ragnow injury, and then Mahogany's going to have to start? We'll see, but I don't think he's going to beat him out. But next year, I could see a situation where Mahogany's starting. I don't know if it would be where Zeitler would be at, or they'd switch it up a little bit, but I could see it. McCarthy has a long ways to be development. There's work to be done. His footwork, lower body mechanics, his upper body mechanics, his ability to read NFL defense. Ronan, I agree with you 110%. I'm not a Michigan fan, so don't kill me here. I rooted for them to win the national championship big time. I'm always going to root for Michigan teams, and I don't, because I'm a Duck fan, so I root for Michigan teams. When my team's out of it, we're not playing. I don't know about JJ McCarthy. I think he's a good leader physically. He's mobile. Is he accurate enough in the NFL at the quarterback position? Not. I don't think it's going to happen this year. But can he develop? I think he absolutely can. But it may be a little bit. And I agree with you. It may be a little bit of development for him, because he just hasn't played as much as other quarterbacks. Right? Or at least throwing the football as much as quarterbacks. But I don't know. We'll see, man. I mean, it sucks he's in the NFC North, because a lot of Michigan fans, that's a double-edged sword for them, right? Rakestraw smarter than Chase Lucas. Yeah, Chase Lucas is isn't he a 49er? I think he got picked up. McCarthy ain't going anywhere this year. Minnesota, their own problems right now. I agree. Does the defense crack the top 10 this year? I don't think it will. I hope so, but I'm going to say no. Barnes wins. Derek Barnes is awesome. I did that. I said about the Barnes win. And yes, Kirby's done that in Hutch picks. Okay, you named a handful out of 3 years. So do 17 games times 3, and you're going to see offense predominantly wins the game. If Goff goes down and we have to start Hooker, do you see us winning the division? Yeah, why not? Folks, Hendon Hooker's a good quarterback. And I'm telling you right now, if it depending on the amount of time Goff's out, he's not bad. And I don't want Jared Goff go down. It's gonna hurt, right? Jared Goff is our starter, but he is good enough to win us games. Unlike Nate Sudfeld, unlike David Blau, unlike other backups, he actually can win us games. It would definitely hurt our chances, though, to win the division, but I wouldn't throw it out. Goff really have a lot to do. Yeah, yay. Wingo was a reach, but the Lions understand that there is being terrorized. Aaron Donald it's a reach right now, right? Everybody says a reach right now, but I trust Brad Holmes. If we would have drafted St. Brown in round 1, everybody would have said that's a reach, right? Everybody said St. Brown a round 1 pick, that's a reach. Not anymore. Like, if there's a redraft done, he's getting drafted high, right? So, right now, but he can develop. What do you think about rotating offensive line during games? I'm not big into it. I want continuity on the offensive line. I've heard, unless you're talking about extra linemen, the reporting thing, I don't mind extra linemen for the run, but switching it up like during games, I'm not big that. I heard people say he struggled this year, and I didn't seem to notice. Can you speak of that? He struggled a little bit in coverage, but so did everybody. Like, it was the whole defense, so I didn't really see much of it. Not enough for me to get upset. Let's see. Does Levi Onwuzurike have a roster spot this year? I'm going to say he doesn't make the roster. I'm going to say no. Sipe TV. Does anyone think Swift will have any kind of year in Chicago? I think probably not a good year. He'll not as good as the Philadelphia. He'll have a decent year, but he was injured a lot. So not last year, but in Detroit he was. Will he stay healthy in Chicago with a offensive line that's much weaker than the Philadelphia Eagles? Probably not. Okay, I absolutely said that one. Cryptic, he could see that. Lions, who's better, X Peoples Jones or Green? Donovan Peoples Jones is the better of the wide receivers for sure. That's not a debate. Detroit Lions will finally win a Thanksgiving Day game. I agree, beating Chicago. Which defensive tackle starts to Hutch, McNeil, or Reader? Switch it up, both. They switch the defensive line up quite a bit. So it just depends on where Hutch is going to be at. But those are primarily going to be your defensive tackles, Aleem McNeil and DJ Reader starters. And Hutchinson will be with them. They switch it up where they rotate. But those three will be on the field the most. Seen people as Traquan Smith could be missing X that we are missing at wide receiver. It could be, but we'll see. I actually have him not making the roster, but maybe he comes out and does good. Wingo is a transfer and he was voted to wear LSU number 18. That is damn impressive. Yeah, look, he's small in size. Doesn't mean he can't, he can't develop and get a little bit bigger and develop. That's the whole point in development. That's why you take guys, folks, that's why you draft guys in the, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round. These are development players. These guys are not necessarily going to be out there all the time. They're developing to get better. We developed Iffy. We developed Derek Barnes. Right now we're developing Broderick Martin. And we're going to develop Wingo. And we're just going to keep developing these players. And as soon as they're at a position to where they're making an impact, they'll be on the field. That's the whole point of, you're not going to get, generally speaking, polished players. It's hard to get polished players in the mid rounds. These are development. Now, there is going to be players like a St. Brown that come out of nowhere. You're going to see all the players but predominantly these are developmental players. We're in full agreement on Swift, not ideal situation. Yeah. Look, he was in a great offensive line for Philly, and now he's going to a not so good offensive line in Chicago. That's going to be a difference for him. He's going to get hit a little bit more wear and tear, and we've seen what happens in Detroit. Now, he's got breakaway speed. We know this, and that's cool. But, we have the second best run defense in football last year. I think we're going to have the number 1 with DJ Reader. I'm not too worried about the running game in the NFC North. Swift, Jones, or Josh Jacobs. I'm not too worried about it. We get that, and that's our apparent to our defensive line and linebackers. Thank you for that. Kirby only had a little drop off when he played out of position. He's best. Yeah, it was a little bit. I agree with you. It was nothing for me to cry about. I mean, because everybody was doing horrible. So, like, it's like, yeah, it was a little bit, but so was everybody. Could they do better? I'm sure they could, but Curb, no, he gets a lot of turnovers, and turnovers win you games. My guy up here was talking about defense win games, and he was 100% correct with Kirby Joseph doing the interceptions, especially against the former Aaron Rodgers Green Bay guy, where he has a knack for getting his football. So for sure, Lions Rumble, got to get you on here, man. I got to jump on your pod. Throw out your podcast time, days in the comment section. I'm gonna shout it out here in a second. Throw it on there, buddy. I got to get on there with you. Unfortunately, I was waiting, and then my phone died, and I was waiting to get on with you guys, but waited a little too long, and my phone died. Now I'm trying to get a better phone here because my lady Emily is going to try to hook me up because my phone is bad. It dies really quick, really, really quick. So I got to do a little bit better for you. So throw your information in the comments. We will get after it. I'm rooting for extra hard. I'm already a fan of our quarterback, but the fact that he became an all-time star. Yeah, dude, how can you not root for Jared Goff, for everything this guy's been through? Just as a human being, I don't care if you hate him as a quarterback. You think he's terrible. And these are look, I'm not a truther nor a hater, okay? I'm more middle ground. But as a human being, what happened to this guy, it's awesome to see what's happened to Jared Goff. I bet, especially if Goff wins a Super Bowl for Detroit, I will bet you money Hollywood will make a movie out of Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. I guarantee you. There's documentaries already out. Like, it's huge. The whole country right now is rooting for the Lions, especially last year. I think they're going to do it again this year. It is like what is taking place in Detroit is literally stuff movies are made of, right? It's like the Friday Night Lights type of thing, or The Replacements, something like that. I could see a movie made about Jared Goff. Now, it should be better than the Kurt Warner movie, which I do like. We got to watch that movie. By the way, it is out. It's a good movie. But I think they're going to make a movie out of the Detroit Lions and Jared Goff. And you got a guy who looks exactly like Jared Goff, Ryan Gosling. Put him in as Jared Goff. Do a movie about the Detroit Lions. You could do the 3-year rebuild. The story from Dan Campbell coming here to Brad Holmes till the Lions win a Super Bowl. It would be epic. I would love to see it. Hollywood, if you're listening, or Lions players like Jameson Williams, if you're listening, tell people to make a damn movie about it. It would be box office. Goff's story is compelling. It is. It's very compelling. Now, it's different, completely different. Kurt Warner, he was literally bagging groceries, and he had a bunch of kids with the girl he was seeing, and being a Hall of Famer. But being thrown away like the way that Jared Goff was, and how the media just crapped on him, and how it was just an utter destruction, and how they were completely wrong, and how this guy came back and then defeated his team, that's movie material. That is Friday Night Lights. That is Replacements type of story. It really is. It is a story. Detroit has that star quarterback who wasn't the number 1 overall pick since 2009. Is that a good or bad? I like it. I do believe, now you guys can disagree with me. I generally would like to take, if you're a team building, I want to get my quarterback done first. And so is a first overall pick, generally speaking, is the most talented, right? So if I generally like to draft a quarterback, it's probably in the first round, except for like a Hendon Hooker situation where he's a talent, he just gets injured. But yeah, I like it. I have no problem with the first overall pick being a quarterback. Stafford and Jared Goff, two best quarterbacks the Lions have had. We're going all the way back to the curse of Bobby Lane, right? So it's worked out. Stafford, look, I'm not a hater nor a lover of Stafford. I appreciate the work that he did here in Detroit, but he's not a quarterback anymore. But when he was here, 12 seasons, he was pretty good. A lot of injuries, but he's pretty good. Then Jared Goff comes in, he was pretty good. That's not the type of luck that the Lions franchise has had over the years. That's more of other teams' lucks, right? Like, they get a quarterback that comes in after a good quarterback, and they just continue the trend, and that hasn't been our luck. It's been our luck now this year, and it's good. A bust. No one talks about him. Is he a bust? Ask me after this year. This is year 3 for Joshua Pascal. I give him 3 years to make an impact, like a significant impact. Now, if he is still a John Kaminsky, just a rotational player after this whole year and not making a significant impact, I wouldn't say he's a bust. I'd just say he was overdrafted because he was a second round pick, right? And he does make plays. He did the play in Kansas City where they lost yard and the Kansas City had to punt it. That was a huge play. But I guess he'd be overdrafted, but not a bust, right? Jelani Tavai was a bust in Detroit, but as a player, he wasn't. Eric Ebron was a bust, right? These guys were not doing much. So, but at least Joshua Pascal is a rotational player right now. So he does help stop the run and at that end. But we want him to pick his game up. He's got to get these sacks in there, right? He's got to come in there. He's got to get some pressures on the quarterback and sacks. He's good at the run defense. We like that, but we want to see his pressures go up. So ask me after this season. I give him 3 years. Yep, Stafford's the enemy now. Like, I'm not going to root for Stafford. I boo when he comes out, and I'm going to chant Jared Goff. But you know what I'm saying? But like when he was here, we had good quarterback play, right? Now we have good quarterback play. I was just saying that the Lions have had good quarterback play. I don't hate him as a person. I'm going to boo him for sure. Playing deep passes, and when he retires the Detroit Lion. I'll cheer him on. But right now he's not a Detroit Lion, so I'm not going to cheer him on. It's like, why would I do that? Especially if he's playing the Lions and he's in the NFC. I like CJ Stroud as a quarterback. I'm not cheering him on when they face the Lions. I hope he sucks. Plenty of deep passes, people who hate on him and going through the middle. I don't get, look, you look at Jared Goff's game. Is he perfect? He's not a perfect quarterback. Nobody is. There's only one Patrick Mahomes, right? He's going to have part of his game that's not great. But at the end of the day, I got to ask you, what the hell does it matter? If he passes for 350 yards, has 2 touchdowns, and the Lions run for 150 yards and win a game, what the hell does it matter? If the offense continues to roll and we're a top 3 offense, in and out, why am I going to bitch about Jared Goff? I'm not going to. You're still getting the yards. So say Jared Goff does a 70-yard bomb to Jameson Williams, get a touchdown. Yes, we get the 7 points. Great. What if the Lions did a nice long sustained drive and get a touchdown through the run game? Yes, we got a touchdown. It's great. I don't care how we get it. I just want to win games and put up points. If the Lions ran every single play, Jared Goff doesn't throw a single pass, and we win a game, I am happy. I don't care. I just want to win games and have this offense moving. It doesn't matter how we get the yards. It doesn't matter how we get the touchdowns. Just get the yards, get the touchdowns. Let's get to a Super Bowl and win a game. That is it. We can pick on the game. At the end of the day, I don't care. Just like with our defense. If our defense ends up being a top 10 and looking really good, and Aiden Hutchinson has 9 sacks, I don't care. Like, I just want this freaking team to win and be good. They want to be but the one I must say, what I do love about this regime, and they have figured it out, and I've been saying this for decades, okay, since I've been a Lions fan. We have been a finesse team for many years, and what Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes done is they've changed that. They've made this a physical team. To me, you have to be a physical team. You cannot be a finesse to get to a Super Bowl. I just don't believe it. You have to be physical. You got to win in the cold. You got to be able to run the football. You got to be able to pound teams, and you got to be able to sustain injuries, right? If like you're beat up a little bit, you still got to play. That's the NFL. I think you have to be physical, right? And that's why they brought in a Jahmyr Gibbs, and they got rid of a Swift. He couldn't handle it. And they got a David Montgomery. He's physical. They got Penei Sewell's physical. They got a physical team, and I think you have to be physical to win. You do, and that's just more of a team element. Miami Dolphins, to me, they're not going to win a Super Bowl with what they got. They'll have a great season. They'll put up big yards, but they cannot travel to. Does anybody believe that right now, if Miami would travel to, I don't know, Houston, they would win? Kansas City, they would win? Baltimore, they'd win? No, I don't think so. They're just to me, they're finesse, and you got to be a physical team to win. You got to be You got to be able to travel. You got to be able to go to other teams' house and beat them. And sometimes it's going to be in the cold. Now for Detroit, it's not in the cold this year. We got 3 games outside. That's a rarity, right? And Jared Goff thinks going to put up ridiculous numbers because of it. And he should be. He should be an MVP candidate. He should be. Absolutely. Especially with only 3 outside games. He does play better. 69 completion percentage indoors, 61 completion outdoors. That is a difference. It's a pretty big difference. That's the difference between winning and losing. That's why Lions going to have a good year. Folks, we've been on for about an hour and about to get off here and enjoy my birthday. So it is my birthday here, and I want to hang out with the fam a little bit. So who you guys feel in the offensive guard position? Jonah Jackson was a rock when healthy, shut down in the wild card game. Kevin Zeitler is better, Pacific Chief, and I feel great about the offensive line. I think it's the number 1 offensive line in football. We got an upgrade over Jonah, Kevin Zeitler, and cheaper. Frank Ragnow's back. Taylor Decker's back. Penei Sewell's back. Graham Glasgow is the other guard. I'm fine with him, and we got really good backups. Last year we didn't have good backups, right? We got Awasika. We got Giovanni Manu. We got Skipper. We love Skip. And we got guards. We're good, man. We good. So I'm not too worried about it. But appreciate you for all the birthday wishes. I'm glad to grace your pod whenever you're available. Let me see. Where is your pod stuff, brudda? And I can shout it out. You got to check out on Facebook, Lions Rumble. He's there. He's doing the shows on Facebook. I think on YouTube too. You got to let me know. Lions, make sure you go and check him out. He's doing a Lions show. It's difficult to start up in this stuff. I'm a friend of his. I'll try to get on whenever I can. I definitely will do that. Just hit me up, bro, and we'll figure something out, even if it's later in the night. I don't care. That's why. So hit me up. And with that said, I got to leave with the greatest words ever spoken.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan. Your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour. Take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder. Work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters. They're just I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm f***ed off at these f***ing clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.